Hi, and welcome to the SaVeg Podcast.
I'm Rose, also known as Cheap Lazy Vegan on YouTube.
And I'm Daniel, one of your favorite guest stars on Cheap Lazy Vegan's YouTube channel.
We're two friends who love to talk about the latest trending topics.
So get comfortable and join us while we give our SaVeg take on just about everything.
You are currently listening to the previous episode of this podcast, but if you would like to listen to this week's episode and get some exclusive content, go over to patreon.com/thesavagepodcast.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Hello, guys.
And welcome back to another episode of the SaVeg Podcast.
Yes, apparently a very somber episode, according to Daniel's voice.
Is it somber? Is my voice sounding somber?
You sound very, not like yourself.
God damn, what happened to your mic? It looks like it's been chewed by four dogs on the way here, Rose.
Damn, Daniel, don't be mic shaming
You've
me.
been chewing your mic?
No. Are you sure this isn't your mic?
Yes, 100%.
Are you sure you didn't just swapsies?
Maybe I did.
Anyway, guys, oh my God. Where did we
gosh.
just come from, Daniel?
So, guys, we literally just arrived an hour ago from Montreal.
Yep. And we're recording. Because we're dedicated.
We are dedicated. We know we have to do this weekly recordation.
And it's going to be a busy week ahead of us.
Exactly. We got a lot going on, lots of things happening.
So we just ate an entire large pizza by ourselves. Panago Pizza. Shout outs. Panago plant-based. What's your favorite, Daniel?
It's Beyond Summer Barbecue.
With what dip, Daniel?
With that sweet
mustard.
Sweet mustard. It is so good, guys. If
I'm
you
actually
haven't had
so
it,
full. I should not have had that much.
I know. I actually am. That's why we have this blanket here, just to cover our bloatedness.
But you know, when we were in Montreal, which by the way we just came from, did you mention we were?
Yeah,
okay.
I mentioned we literally landed an hour ago.
Yeah, you say we landed. Did you say we went to Montreal?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in Montreal, because we ate so much food.
Oh my God.
I think my body was just in a constant state of being full. So as soon as I was just like in a normal state, I was like, I'm hungry. I need to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we ordered some food.
Yep.
And yeah.
Wow. We're going to talk about Montreal a little bit.
Let's first do our Patreon shout out. We have one shout out to give.
Yes, we do.
So thank you so much to, am I saying this name?
Yeah.
Jamshade?
Yes.
Jamshade?
Sounds perfect.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining. If you guys don't know, of course, we have our Patreon, which is always linked in our show notes and the description.
Yep.
It is patreon.com/thesavagepodcast. That's where you can get bonus episodes every month and your episodes earlier than everybody else.
Yep.
And you also get ad-free episodes, plus a lot of other perks. Exactly. And plus you just get a little bit more attention from us and a shout out. So join us, patreon.com/thesavagepodcast. And now let's talk about Montreal.
Well, but just before we go, Rose, what are we talking about this week in the exclusive? What fun exclusive episode are we doing for September?
Oh my God. For September exclusive for our Patreon, we're going to be answering. We're going to be responding to
interesting comments.
Yes. Interesting/hate comments.
Yeah. Well, we're going to call them interesting because some of them necessarily aren't hate comments.
Yes.
It's just kind of, interesting comments. So that's going to be our Patreon exclusive for September, guys. And
it'll be a fun time.
Exactly. And if you do join, you get access to all of our historic episodes.
It's historic.
Yeah. Our historic episodes.
Historic episodes. It sounds very historic.
It does. Anyway, guys, I'm tired. We're both tired. We've been on planes, trains, and automobiles.
Please excuse our, diluted conversation that is about to begin.
We're a little bit crazy today, guys. So, what about Montreal? Where should we even start?
Oh my God! First of all, we love Montreal. Can we just do a little shout out?
Oh my God, guys!
Guys. We are obsessed.
Yeah.
We're basically thinking of moving there. We're just gonna put it out there.
Mm-hmm. Throwing it out there.
We're throwing it out into the universe. We're gonna manifest this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't even know what you're.
Well, to start, guys. So Rose and I last went to Montreal. So we went to Montreal 9 years ago. That's the last time I've ever been in Quebec. Haven't been back since. Yeah, and so we both went back. Obviously, just this last couple of days, and just forgot, like. I remember liking Montreal, but I just forgot. I think also because we've lived in Europe and you know what I mean?
And it's been 9 years. And the last time we were here, we were a lot younger.
Yeah.
And we basically got drunk every single night. And believe it or not, guys, that did not happen this time around. Why did we not?
We went for a run. We were doing exercise.
We were PG-13 approved.
We were, guys.
And why did we not get drunk, Daniel?
Because we literally ate so much food. This is another thing. Okay, some reasons why we liked Montreal.
Be careful with that.
I will. Don't worry. It's balanced and precariously.
Oh my
God. This it is honestly such a perfect balance of like Europe and like Canada.
Yes, it's like mini Europe in Canada.
It's like you hear like even we're saying like even not just French, but like you walk around and there's so many languages being spoken.
Are there? I only heard French.
I heard all sorts of languages.
Really?
Yeah, I heard Italian. I heard Spanish a lot.
Italian. Okay.
I heard so many like, and in Calgary you just quite often hear English. There's a lot of French being spoken, obviously, because everyone there's like, well, most of the people there are like perfectly bilingual.
I know, it's amazing.
Which is mind blowing. It's so good. It's so cool. And then
Daniel, I'm not liking that water on your couch there.
Do you think I'm gonna hit it?
Yes. Can you just put it down, please?
Because I'm a hand talker.
I'm
gonna hold it because I'm really thirsty. And then also, what about the food, Rose?
Oh my God, you guys. Okay, first another thing. So last time when we went, I was mostly plant-based. I think that's when I first went, mostly plant-based. And actually, I'm not sure. It may have been a little bit. But anyway, I was a pescatarian, but mostly plant-based. Mm-hmm. So me and Daniel got there and we ate at one veggie restaurant, I'm pretty sure, called Au Vive at that time. So, and we don't remember and obviously, again, this is so long ago, so I don't remember. And Daniel was not vegan. So I don't remember the vegan food being like particularly amazing. Yeah. Or even there being a lot of it.
But I do remember, because I do vaguely remember, like I mentioned that poutine place and stuff. Like I know that there was options everywhere we went.
There were options, but I remember the poutine not having vegan cheese, for example.
Yeah.
Right? So basically it wasn't poutine. It was just fries with gravy.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, it's not that, fantastic. But this time, holy moly.
Oh my God, guys.
You guys, the vegan food there.
Oh.
I can't even believe I went in with very little expectation.
Yeah.
But they had so many options. Like we didn't even get through all of them.
No.
And it was so good. I don't even know how to describe it. The quality.
Oh, the quality, guys.
The quality, guys. They had multiple vegan sushi places, all plant-based sushi, all amazing. We went to Sushi Momo. Yeah. We went to Bloom Sushi. Both were really great in their own ways. They're owned by the same person or the same people or whatever. Yeah. And then we also went to like the vegan Asian food.
Out of this world.
Like
I would go as far to say is so far, and I could be, people feel free to hate on me for saying this, but I think from all the cities that I've been to.
Yes.
And I've traveled quite a bit, but I've only been vegan like the last 6 years.
Yeah.
So I guess part of my traveling, I wasn't vegan, but it is the best vegan food.
The best. Yeah. Wow. It's definitely one of the best.
Yeah. One of the, honestly,
for me.
It was because Toronto, don't get me wrong. Toronto had we had some really good food in Toronto.
We did.
We also had some not so great food in Toronto.
We did.
Whereas in Montreal, there was a few dishes that were okay, but everything else was fucking amazing.
Yeah. It was so good.
And you're right. Like the Asian food there. Oh. So we went to the two sushi places that Rose mentioned. We went to another one it's Thai food called Chu Chai.
Oh my God, that place was so good.
That food, I'm going to have dreams, guys, about that food.
I'm so sad. I need that food in my life.
Oh, that food is
And then we also went to Umami, which was a vegan ramen place. Yeah. And it was so good. Anyways, I'm going to cry now. I'm just going to cry myself to sleep.
Now we're back to Calgary.
We're back to Hicktown.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a great time. Mm-hmm. And of course, it's not a trip with Rose and Daniel until something bad happens.
Yes, that's true.
I mean, it wasn't bad. Most of every day was okay, mainly probably because we stayed pretty sober.
We did, yeah. and we were, I don't know if we mentioned it on this podcast, we were saying about how every time Rose travels with me, you get some kind of ailment. Like something will happen to her. She'll get sick or, something will happen. She'll get bed bugs or something, So we were just bracing ourselves to see what would happen on this trip. And we were so close, Rose.
Oh, we were so close. We were on, guys. Today we were on the way to the airport, okay? To come home, okay? Yeah. We had packed our shit, had a lovely day, ate some more food, of course. And then we were on our way to the airport. And then I realized.
What did you realize, Rose?
I was like, oh my God, I didn't check for my passport. I don't remember packing my passport. Yeah. And of course, why did I even bring a passport? Because we were just flying from Canada to Canada.
Yeah.
So technically I didn't need a passport, but I don't know about you guys, but for me, I get weirdly paranoid about not having a passport when I fly. So I had that thing. And of course, and I even mentioned it to you too, when we were flying to Montreal. I was like, I don't know why I brought a passport. I didn't need it.
You did mention it.
And of course, I realized, and I started rummaging through my bags and I was like, fuck me.
Yep.
And I realized that I must have left it in the Airbnb. And we stayed in the Airbnb, and I remember putting a few things, because sometimes when I travel, I like to like put things in drawers.
Yeah.
Now I'm probably never going to do that again because I'm traumatized.
See, but this is the thing. This is just to interject for a minute. Like I never really did that. And part of my reason why, because like I'll go into like sometimes I'll hang stuff up in the closet and stuff, but I never put stuff into drawers because I'm always nervous of this exact thing happening, because I know what I'm like, and I will forget to check one of the drawers, and some of my shit will be in there, and it will be gone.
So
there was just some stuff in there.
So I was like, I think I left it in there, and the reason why is because I remember when we were before we started packing, and this is even worse. this makes me sound extra stupid. So before we started packing, I remember like I like had to open that drawer for something, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to leave this drawer open so that I don't forget to pack what's in this drawer. So I left it open. And I guess in my, I don't know, trance out state, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I closed it at some point just by, instinct, or what do you call it? Like impulse or whatever.
I think it's, what is it called? Like not intuition, but what's just like that automatic thing
impulse.
you do.
Impulse.
No, I don't think that's, because it's like
reflex.
You do it without thinking.
It was a reflex.
You do it without thinking.
A reflex.
Yeah, sure.
Daniel?
I don't know if that's the right word. There's a word for it, Rose.
It's a reflex.
No. Anyway, continue. Continue, please.
I'm going to Google reflex.
But anyway, so Rose had opened that drawer. She closed it automatically without even thinking. And she left her passport. There. No, but it could be reflex, but there's also another word for it.
A reflex is an involuntary or automatic action that your body does in response to something.
Nope.
English as a second language.
No, but Rose, there's also another word for it. There's another term.
Impulse, reflex. Anyways,
anyway, continue. You can see we've had enough of each other on this trip, guys. We're about to...
Well, judging by Daniel's English skills, I don't think that word is going to come out anytime soon on this podcast. Anyways.
But yeah.
So.
Love Montreal.
Realized I left my shit in that drawer. And then I also realized, oh snap, what else did I leave in that drawer? So I was like, oh my fucking God. I was like, okay, listen. I know I put some underwear in there. I know I had some pajama shorts and shit, which I don't know why I bring, because I sleep naked anyways. Poor Daniel.
True.
I mean, he was sleeping in a different room. Okay, guys.
I was on the couch. So. Welcome back to Calgary, Rose.
What the? Anyways. So then I was like, oh my God, did I And this gonna make me sound like a fucking slob, but I was like, did I throw my dirty underwear in that drawer? I was like, fuck. I was like, what else is in that drawer? Okay. Now I'm thinking, fuck me, in that drawer, my passport is buried underneath a pile of dirty ass underwear.
And then the best part is Rose called the Airbnb host.
And the Airbnb host is like this young dude.
This young French guy. So Rose calls him on the way to the airport. She's like, I think I left my passport in one of those drawers. Do you mind going and checking? So we're envisioning. We still don't know if that's what's in there though. Because you might have them in your suitcase.
I mean, it's me, Daniel. Of course it's dirty underwear.
So you might have to rummage through that to get your passport.
Oh God. And the thing is, so I texted him right when I got on the plane. He called and he was like, don't worry, we found the passport. He didn't mention anything else in that drawer. And I know for a fact there was other shit in that drawer.
There was at least the pajamas. And my guess is 4 pairs of dirty underwear. Oh God. I was just gonna be like, you know what? Just put on some gloves, put everything into a bag, into a box, and just send it on over. I will send you the money. Oh God, Rose, you just crack me up.
But anyways, passport is found. We'll see what happens with the underwear.
We'll see what you get back.
Can you imagine if I just got a bag of dirty underwear?
And your passport.
Oh God, you guys.
Guys, you can't write this shit. Honestly.
Oh God. What, guys, I've traveled. Here's the thing. I've literally never, I don't think I've ever lost my passport. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever lost my passport.
I really honestly don't know though, Rose. Not about your passport, but like obviously this is the first time you've lost it.
The one trip where I didn't need my passport.
Yeah.
You know what? But to be fair, it is a good thing that I was on a trip that I didn't need my passport.
This is true.
Because if we were in that Uber and I realized I didn't have my passport,
we'd have to go back.
Yeah.
Oh God. And you'd be paying for that Uber.
I'd be paying for that Uber.
But the funny thing is like in life, I feel like you're a very put together overall person.
Yes, we've realized this.
And literally, I don't know what happens to you as soon as you get on a plane. Your shit is everywhere. You get ailments.
Shit hits the fan.
You lose things. Like you're missing flights. You're missing things. You're losing
putting dirty underwear in random drawers.
Yeah, I just don't know how your life is such a mess when you travel.
I don't. And the thing is, Daniel, I said this to Daniel. The thing is, Daniel, I always make fun of him for being a mess and how his life is, just a huge mess just in general. Oh, and my favorite saying is, Daniel, get your shit together.
Oh, I've heard it too many times.
And, but for some weird reason, even though he's a crazy person, even when he travels, for some weird reason, you somehow have your shit together when you travel.
I also think an element of that is luck.
I think a lot of it is luck. Like what the actual fuck? For example... Can we talk about the goddamn body lotion?
Oh, yes.
What the fuck? Okay, first of all, guys, this man has been on how many flights? I don't even know.
A lot.
Okay? Lots of motherfucking flights. Okay? And so we got to the airport to go to Montreal.
Yeah.
And he's like looking at me all fucking confused, takes out his little, bag of liquids. And he's like, oh, does this go in my liquid bag? I was like, Daniel, that's cream. Yeah, it goes in your fucking liquid bag.
And I was like, oh, shoot.
And then what? You're like, oh, really? Are you sure it's liquid? I was like, Daniel, is this the first time you've flown?
But then I was
you did that with like 5 other products.
But then I was like, oh, shit. Because then I realized I had this big tub. I wish I had it with me.
Like a big tub. It was like 200 milliliters.
More.
Of like some kind of body butter.
Yeah.
And I was like, Daniel.
But the thing is, I didn't know 100% if it was in my bag. I was like, I think I have it in there. Remember I was like saying,
why didn't you know if it was in your bag? You packed it.
I did pack it, but it was my backpack. Sometimes there's random shit in my backpack, So anyway, I didn't know.
Did you pack it for the trip or was it in your backpack?
It might have been just in my backpack.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
because usually I have it in there just
and he's like, oh my God, does it count as a cream? I was like, Daniel, of course it does. But of course, because it's Daniel and he's a white man and he gets everything he wants, he gets through the fucking security. No problem.
Both times.
Both times. Not even the one time, but both times. What the actual fuck?
I don't know if that says more about
my
luck.
You know what? I blame the patriarchy.
But Rose, I don't know if that says more about my luck or just how bad the security is.
I think it says a lot about the world. I think we can make an analysis.
Oh, God.
It's the patriarchy. It is racism. It is white man fucking power.
Privilege.
White man privilege.
But anyway, that aside, guys, honestly, Montreal.
It was a great trip. We loved it. And now I decided that I'm going to be bi-coastal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Rose is going to spend half her time in Montreal and half her time in Calgary.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see about the winters of Montreal, though. We've heard some horror stories.
We have guys. If you're from Montreal, you're living in Montreal, let us know in the comment section. Are the winters as bad as they say? Because obviously in Calgary we get like pretty bad winters, but like we get the Chinooks and like overall it's not. It could be worse. But I heard Montreal. Like we've heard horror stories about Montreal. So
tell us, guys, what do you think?
Yeah.
Anyways, shall we move on to the stories?
We should. I mean, Rose, didn't you have a story that you
I have a story, Daniel.
Oh, God.
You're going to have a field day with this one.
Uh-oh.
So, there has been a little controversy in the YouTubeation.
Oh, God damn. I love a little bit of YouTubeation controversy.
So, there was a YouTuber.
Mm-hmm. Who?
And I know you're going to love this topic because it has to do with a lot of what we've already discussed on our podcast.
Okay, cool.
So a YouTuber, oh my God, what is her name? Her name is Jordan Cheyenne.
Okay.
So this is someone I follow. I don't follow her like religiously, but I follow her on like Instagram and YouTube and stuff, And she does like, she basically is like a single mom, has I think he's probably like 9-year-old son.
Okay.
And so she does kind of like vlogging content, lifestyle vlogging. Although I wouldn't have classified her as a family vlogger, but anyway.
I know where this is going.
Lifestyle vlogging.
Yeah.
Beauty, whatever, like, how to make money, entrepreneur, all that kind of stuff. She kind of does like a little bit of everything, I think. Anyways, I guess recently and I'd kind of seen her post stuff like this on her Instagram recently. I guess they recently got a puppy. And the puppy, I guess, like contracted something called parvo, which I don't know much about. But apparently it's like something, well, you're supposed to get vaccinated for it, I think.
Okay.
But then, yeah, there's a parvo vaccine because it's supposed to be very dangerous if you get it. So I guess the puppy contracted parvo. I don't know when, I don't know how, but the puppy got parvo. So they're obviously devastated. They got, the puppy got parvo. And of course she's vlogging this whole experience because why not, Yeah. If you can't monetize a tragedy, why even bother?
If you can't monetize a tragedy, did the tragedy happen?
Exactly. So then, that part, whatever, maybe that's just part of your life. But the controversy happened when, so I guess, again, she was like filming herself. I didn't watch the full video. I just saw like this part. She was filming herself in the car, and I guess her son was sitting next to her. She was filming herself in the car after they found out that the puppy got parvo, and they're like crying, and she's very upset. And then she says, okay, guys, talk to you guys later. Pray for us. Bye. And then she kept in the part after that where that she was supposed to edit out, right? It's one of those where she like forgot to edit out this part, but it basically is like, she's basically telling her son to like, okay, come on over here. Come on to take a photo for the thumbnail. And her son is actually crying because, it's sad information.
Yeah.
Son's crying. Son is very upset. And she's like, come on, put your head over here. Pretend like you're crying. And he's like, I am crying.
Yeah.
And then she's like, come on, like do this. And she's like directing him for like a good while.
Yeah.
I was like, buddy, like I'm sure you could get a thumbnail. Like you don't have to do all this.
Exactly.
And then she's like, oh, do this. Put your arm here. Put your there. Like, and then the kid just keeps going like, Mom, like I'm actually crying.
Yeah.
And anyways, that she posted that. And then of
Did
course,
she take it down?
I think what happened initially was she posted it, and I'm pretty sure she like
edited
it out or deleted it. I don't know exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And then of course somebody got it, of course it's the internet. And then they like reposted it, and then of course people started freaking out, and thoughts?
Oh my God.
Pretty crazy.
This is like what is wrong with like YouTube, and not just not what is wrong with YouTube. Sorry, that's the wrong way to put it. But what is wrong with I would just say like I don't want to like tarnish everyone in the same brush with that, like the lifestyle, these kind of vlogs, like family kind of style vlogs, like lifestyle, any kind of vlogging. You're vlogging your life, right? I think it's important to remember that like there is life outside of YouTube and outside of the social media. And I think there's something so wrong. And like I could be looking at this the wrong way. And like, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but there's something so wrong about a mother with her son.
I know.
Who's going through a really tough time because of what's going on in life.
Yeah.
And for her to, I mean, I'm sure she still cares, but for her to be like so adamant on getting this thing done. Yeah. Like getting a thumbnail, getting all this stuff where it's like something that's not so important. You've already filmed your video. You've already got your son crying on camera. Yeah. Which is, again, still like that is a little bit icky as well.
Yeah. It's like a bit icky.
You don't want to be posting your kids crying on, you know what I mean, to monetize that content. And like, I don't know. There's something.
It's
really,
just so icky. Like I get that it's your job. That's the thing. It's like it is your job.
It is her job. Yeah.
I understand to some extent, but this is maybe the problem with making your life your job, right? Like
that's the issue.
Like putting your life as entertainment is a problem in a lot of ways, especially when there's a child involved that hasn't consented to being in that, right?
There's so much
wrong with it.
And I don't know what's gonna happen. Like I wonder if there's gonna be something that's put in place. I don't know.
I mean, after because this story kind of blew up a little bit. Yeah. I mean, she's not like huge. Yeah. But she has a good amount of followers, you know. And of course, this story, I'm sure after this, she's gonna become quite infamous. Yeah. Yeah, like, I mean, does she deserve all the hate that she's getting? I don't think so to that extent. No. Because I'm sure that like other family vloggers do similar things.
Oh yeah.
Because first of all, already like the nature of the type of people that would make that kind of content to begin with, like every day vlogging your family or almost every day vlogging the life of your family and like putting your kid in there. It's like maybe that's like the natural progression. Like you just end up doing those kind of things. Yeah. So she did end up like making like an apology. I think she was like, I'm not going to put my son in my videos anymore. So you know what? At least she kind of owned up to it. Yeah.
Well, and you have to remember like, just her business. And I get that. Okay. If your vlogging is your business, that's fine. I get that. But you have to remember, like, I'm sure if, you know, for example, you ran a family business of like a restaurant, for example, your son comes and you're, you know, quite often you have kids helping you in the restaurant, you know, this kind of stuff. If your son comes to work bawling because he had a really shitty day, or his dog has like some kind of contractile, you'd say, you know what, don't worry, take the day off. You know what I mean? Like, go relax. Here's a big hug from mom. I have to work because I still have to, you know, we have customers coming into wherever. But like, I think with the vlogging, there becomes it because it blurs the lines of personal and what is like your job. Whereas like, obviously if you own your own business, like a restaurant or something like this, there's like distinct, like, this is your home life, this is your whereas when that gets all blurred, it gets so messy.
I know. And also when you know that certain like unfortunate events will get more clicks, because if you have a picture of someone crying on the thumbnail, you're probably gonna get more clicks. And that's what's more disturbing too, right? It's like, it's the element. There's one element. There's like, you're fucking up your child's life potentially. You're kind of like, you know, you're not being sensitive to how your little kid is feeling.
Exactly.
That's one thing. But then another thing is, how fake were you being? You know, like, I get that you have to get the thumbnail, but at the same time, it's like, it's hard to believe as well. Like when you're in that, like, I'm sorry, but like, if my dog was dying, the last thing I'm going to think about is getting a thumbnail.
Exactly.
Like, I'll fucking tell you that much.
Yeah. Well, and the thing that's tough too is like, this is why I do, there's something about family vlogs. I just think that there's something so like icky is the only word I can think of.
I know, it's icky.
It's not great. And
it just feels wrong.
Part of the reason too is because, again, I feel like especially when you have kids involved, even though her son's like 9, but he's still a child, right? They're easily influenced by adults. And I think because like, let's reflect and put ourselves in that situation. Yeah. Like if we were in the car and something was going on with my dog, you know, and you were like filming a video, maybe I would take part in the video. But then if I'm actually like having a bad day, you know what would happen? If you're trying to get me down the thumbnail, I'm just going to say, you know what, fuck off. Yeah. Because I'm an adult and I feel like you
can make those decisions.
Exactly. You can be a bit more like, I don't want to be filmed right now. Like turn the camera off. Yeah. Whereas when you're a child, I feel like, especially if your parents are doing it.
I know.
There's this whole like.
Because you like respect your parents.
Exactly. You look at your parents as that authority figure, right? Because there's that whole like concept of like somebody in a position of power. And we even do it as adults in certain fields where it's like, if it's like a doctor, they're like in a position of power over us, right? When it comes to like medicine and things like that. But I just, there's something so wrong. And this is why like the family vlog channels like really bother me. And I think there's something like different. Cause like I have friends, for example, that have like young kids that, you know, post pictures of them on their social media and things like that, where they're sharing it. And, but typically their social media is shared with just their intimate group of friends. So it's like,
and it's not to monetize.
And they're not making money off of it. They're just kind of like, hey, look at my daughter's doing something really cute today.
Yeah, it's cute. Like,
here's
I understand
a little video.
the sentiment.
I get that. But when it's like you're legitimately making money, your kids, whether or not you can argue that they can or they can't, they're not at an age where they can legally sign a contract. Yeah. So how can they, because up until, I believe it's 18 in Canada, but up until that age, if you want to sign any legally binding document, you need a parent or guardian there with you. Yeah. So how can you say that somebody, and that's a legal definition of somebody, right? Yeah. Like as somebody being an adult, how can you say that someone under 18, technically, and that's what we've defined as a society, someone that's like 5 years old, for example, understands the concept of this. I know. And that they could sign to be like part of your family vlog. Exactly. And I just, I don't know.
And I feel bad for them too, because I'm like, kids are mean. And like, imagine your mom's filming you crying. Yeah. And you go to school. Like, imagine. You could easily get bullied.
Oh, 100%.
Easily.
Well, and
and I saw your mom doing this, you know, like it's just.
I just,
don't you think about these things? Like, I just don't get it.
I know. I just, I wonder like what those, but honestly, everyone that I've met that does like these not that I've met, but like that I've seen on YouTube that does like family vlogs, there's just, you know, was it, I think it was, do you remember, what was her name? Nikki and what's her name? Philippi or whatever?
Oh, Nikki Philippi?
Yeah. You know how they had that situation with their dog?
Yeah, I don't know if I guess they were kind of a family vlog. I'm not sure how much they put their kid in there.
Yeah, but didn't they get some backlash because they wanted to like adopt a child from like Thailand? But then they weren't allowed to like post pictures. Yeah. So I remember the whole story, guys, but basically this one YouTuber that does kind of family vlogs, sort of, wanted to adopt some children from Asia. I'm like
same YouTuber. This was the same YouTuber that put down her dog for being too aggressive. Quote unquote aggressive.
Exactly.
Continue.
But then said like, you know, I guess as part of the agreement, you're not allowed to like post pictures of the child
for like a year.
Or
it wasn't even like for a lifetime. It was like a year or something.
It was something like this, right? And because of that restriction, they were like, well, we're not going to adopt the child.
And she was like, well, you know, it's just part of my job. You know, like, what if I accidentally film? I'm like, how would you accidentally, because like
Exactly.
it's not like you're going live, like you don't have to go live, like how would you accidentally
You wouldn't.
record these things and then you edit these things? Like you're not going to accidentally film your child.
Exactly. It's just,
and I'm sure if you accidentally do it, they're going to be like, okay, like it was an accident. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're going to be like, take away the child immediately. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like if I wanted to really adopt a child and that was the only thing that was stopping me, are you fucking crazy? Like it is hard to adopt a child.
It is hard. And like, again, it leaves a bad taste in people's mouths.
It really does.
And people are like, oh, really? You wouldn't adopt a child
because of that?
Of a year restriction of being able to take photos? Like, again, this is like constantly we're coming up against this stuff. And interesting, the stuff. And interestingly. So what are your thoughts on this, by the way?
I mean, I agree with everything.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just, I mean, again, I don't think like, I think it's an overall problem, like not necessarily with this particular YouTuber, but just an overall kind of like almost a cultural problem within these channels. And I don't think that for her specifically, like it was very insensitive and bad of her, but I do think the punishment is a little bit harsh for the crime, because you know how the internet is, right? Like people become incredibly like it becomes like a mob mentality, and guys, like 2 wrongs do not make a right. Like don't go after somebody. Like I do think it is a little bit of a harassment situation, because you know when shit like this happens, of course, like they get like literally flooded with all kinds of hate, which I don't think people deserve that. I don't think, and again, the punishment does not fit the crime.
Exactly.
But at the same time, do I think like, you know, was that really cringy to watch?
Yes.
Yeah. Did I feel bad for the kid? Yeah, I did, because like he's probably thinking, and also it's a little bit like almost feels disingenuous when someone is crying on the camera, she's upset and she's like, bye guys, and then right after it's like, okay, come take a picture with me for the thumbnail. You know what I mean? Again, if you're like genuinely upset or angry or whatever it is, I really can't see myself being like, you know, or maybe that's what happens though when you start doing these vlogging, because like I don't vlog as much as like, you know, these people, right? Sometimes I'll travel vlog and stuff, but it's not my day to day. So for me, it's not in my nature to be like shutting off my emotions to like take a thumbnail, but maybe that's what happens, right? Like as a natural progression, when you start vlogging every day, it almost becomes like, even if you're upset, you just kind of like suck it up and you're like, okay, well, this is my job, I gotta do my job. You know, it's kind of like when you're a server, like maybe this is what happens. Like when you're a server, like even if you're having a bad day, you're still gonna smile at your customers. Yeah,
that's true.
Maybe it's that kind of like almost like a, you know,
you switch it off because you're like, I'm working.
Exactly.
And then as soon as you're done your shift, then you can be like, oh, let's have a chat about this. Let's like, you know,
and the problem is with the kid, they don't understand that that's, you know, the distinction between those two things. So then he's just gonna be like, oh, my mom just wants to get a thumbnail, like, you know, she just wants to get a photo while I'm like really upset, and she should be like, you know, like taking care of me right now, or like making me feel better.
Yeah, but also that's I feel
bad.
This is the thing. Kids, especially children, they're developing for a long time, right? And I just think to myself, like, how I would feel, because you're right. First of all, there's no separation. They're not gonna be able to make that distinction, and nor should they have to, because like at the end of the day, if I'm like, if I was 9 years old having a situation with my parents, where I was like bawling my eyes out, and my mom's turning around, even if it's just for 5 minutes, to say, hey, come over here, cry on my shoulder, do this, do this. Really disingenuous, not supporting me as a mother. But then maybe as soon as the cameras are off, you know, or they, you know, got the thumbnail, then afterwards she's like really caring towards me. That's still going to create feelings of resentment. And feelings of like, why is your job more important than me?
Exactly.
Or why
am I even part of your job?
Exactly. Why is this continuing to happen? Where I'm like, this is not, you know, and that's going to cause. Like, I'm not a child psychiatrist. I don't know how this will impact you, but like, you know, certain relationship and what's it called? Like emotional support and things that you get throughout life. If it's like jagged, or if it's like kind of not normal, then it's going to impact you the way you express yourself later. So like, you know, as much as we want to say, oh, you know, she could have supported him after the video and whatever else, he's still going to have a disjointed experience as to, you know, because normally kids are, you know, if they're having a hard time, you know, their parents are there to support them. So, and that's why I there's something about these family vlog channels.
I know, it's so bad.
Like, because we've talked about this many times on our channel as well. It's like, you know, it's a little bit different than, you know, it's still, you know, you have child actors, for example. Because they're going in, they're working on a project, and there's still some stuff that goes on there that's probably not great anyway. But let's just say your kid goes on a project, works on a movie, and they're working for like 4 months, and then they're done. You know what I mean? Their life, their personal stuff, all that stuff is not on display. So I think there's like a little bit of difference there, and I don't know. It's just,
I know. So yeah, do not family vlog, guys, or do not vlog your children. At least not to that extent.
Exactly. Well, that actually ties in really nicely.
Oh,
with
really?
One of the stories I want to talk
what's
about.
next?
This is a little bit of an older story. It happened a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
But I guess there's again another social media influencer called, I'm not sure who this is, but Piper Rockelle. So she's a 14-year-old influencer. I guess she's on YouTube. She's on Instagram. Has quite a lot of followers.
Oh, I've heard of this.
Yeah. So basically what had happened was, I guess Piper had posted some photos. She's 14 years old, guys. Posted some photos, I guess kind of like not explicit, but like she was like at a pool and she was in a bikini posing and,
posing in a suggestive manner.
Kind of. Yeah.
Okay.
In a bikini and posted them on her social media. So Pink, who saw this, I guess, had voiced some concern.
Right.
Not just for her, but for a lot of teen stars. Who are popular on social media, and she did use the Piper Rockelle as an example, saying, seemingly pointing to recent photos of the influencer posing in a pool and saying how it feels like they're being exploited by
Is
parents.
her mom taking these photos?
Well, we don't know.
Because so Pink said that she was being exploited by her parents.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. Well, I guess she's just suggesting that a 14-year-old influencer.
Yeah, I mean, some of her photos, I'm like, she looks like a child for sure.
Yeah.
Like she looks like she's 14. Mm-hmm. But like some of the photos, they're very suggestive. Yeah. Should I say?
And she goes on to say, so I guess the teenage YouTuber told TMZ, I didn't even know TMZ was still around, that her mom doesn't make her do anything, and explains that it's quite the opposite. I'm a kid who had a dream, and my mom is amazing enough to help me live it out. I don't think Pink has ever seen one of my YouTube videos, because if she did, she'd see it's just me and my friends having fun and acting like ourselves. She said she has 8 million subscribers on her channel.
Oh my God.
And said the content we make is the kind of stuff anybody can watch.
Oh God. The thing is, when you're 14, of course she's going to think this is fine, right? Like in 10 years, you're going to look at this and be like, oh, ooh, like that's cringe. You know what I'm saying? Like these photos, I'm like it's not horrible. Like it's a little bit like on the, this is more of the gray area. Yeah. Gray area. Yeah. Like she's not like, it's not, she's like, it's not all like sexually explicit or anything like that. But are some photos a little bit questionable? Absolutely.
Definitely.
Is it a little concerning that she has millions of followers on Instagram? Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like, oh, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's just like, again, it's like a little icky, You're just like, you're 14 and like, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When I was 14, I took, some photos of me like puckering my lips. I'm sure I wore like, suggestive shit. Yeah. But like, if I posted that shit online and like millions of people saw it, like 10 years after, I'd be like, oh God, like fuck my life.
But then also like, I would feel like, I mean, maybe this won't happen for Piper. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen any of her content, guys. I haven't watched any of her YouTube videos, but like, maybe, 10 years down the road, she's 24 years old. Maybe she's going to university, trying to find a job, whatever it may be, looks back, and maybe she still gets the job that she wants and whatever else, but like looks back and sees some of the content that she puts out and turns to her parents and are like, where were you guys?
Yeah. Why didn't you tell me?
Why didn't you stop me from doing this?
I mean, but to be fair, at 14, did you listen to your parents?
Probably not.
So, I mean, I will say that.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't really be like, blaming the parents. I don't know how involved her parents are.
It's not that I wouldn't necessarily listen to them. I might disagree with something that they would have said, but
I
might still follow what they said. Do you know what I mean?
I probably wouldn't follow what they said at that age. Not at 14.
Were you a rebel child?
I was not a rebel child.
If your parents were like, you need to be home by a certain time, you just didn't care and you came home whenever you wanted.
I was a good child.
Okay, then there you go. So you did listen to them. Anyway, no, but like you would question, like, okay, maybe you didn't listen to them when you're 14, but you could have said, Mom, Dad, where were you? Like, were you questioning my decisions? Were you challenging me? Were you saying maybe you should think twice about posting this? You know?
There's definitely a difference between, because I don't know how involved her parents are.
Exactly. We don't know, guys.
In these posts.
Yeah.
And if she's okaying all of these photos, that might be an issue. Okay. Because if I was a parent of this child, I would not be okaying some of these photos. I'll tell you that much. I'd be like, and it's a dangerous world out there to have millions of followers that age, and you're posting kind of like sexually suggestive photos. I would be a little bit concerned for my child.
Yeah.
Like,
where's that leading to? Is she gonna all of a sudden, when she turns freshly 18, is she gonna open an OnlyFans?
I mean, I think that's where it's going, Daniel.
You know? Oh, God.
She's grooming her child to be a millionaire. I'm just kidding, guys.
We don't know this.
Okay,
we don't know
this is not alleged, not even alleged. I'm just joking.
Yeah, this is, yeah. But
yeah, it is concerning.
This whole age of influencers, young influencers,
yes,
and these family vlogs,
yeah,
and it's posing all kinds of almost like, I don't know if they're moral questions, but like just partially like morally and ethical questions,
just
like
icky sort of questions.
Yeah, like
even TikTok, like seeing some of the really popular TikTokers that are literally like 14, 15, 16, they all dance very, sexually, and you're just like, ugh.
Like maybe we're just prudes. I don't know. Like
it's just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's gross.
Yeah.
It's gross. I don't know. I mean, I know that obviously, again, we always talk about this, like human beings are, the age of consent is what, 18, 16, depending on where you are.
Yeah, something like that.
But like, technically we are able to like reproduce at a younger age.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the natural age, but then, and that's when kids get, a little bit horny, a little bit, whatever, a little frisky, you know what I'm saying? But we've now created a society where, we kind of like, have somewhat of order, law and order. So it raises a lot of questions.
I think it raises a lot of like moral and ethical questions, and like, maybe some things do need to be revisited, like some laws and whatever else. But
I don't know.
But like also,
but imagine you at 16, how like childish you were at the same time.
Hugely.
Right? I'm just like, I just know that I was like a little child.
I know.
Even at 18, I was like, I'm a fucking child.
I look back at my 18s, like my late teens, early 20s, and I'm like, oh my God, like what the fuck was I doing? Yeah. So
thank God fucking Instagram and TikTok was not around at that age. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I'm very happy about that. Honestly, I'm very happy. And like,
seriously,
we talked about this sometimes too, but like, if we ever have kids of our own,
honestly,
like what are like how, like, cause I can see as a parent, there'd be this dilemma as well. It's like, do you allow your kids, I mean, how can you restrict your kids from going on these social media platforms anyway?
Yeah. But like, do you just let them do whatever, or do you restrict?
Exactly. And the sad thing is, the really sad thing, guys, and we've talked about this so many times, but I remember we did one podcast episode where we talked about teen and preteen suicide rates and depression rates. And ever since Instagram, not just blaming Instagram, like just social media in general, but Instagram really hit it was the big one. Ever since that, rates of, preteen suicide and depression have skyrocketed.
Right. And it's not just Instagram, but like the rates of, I guess, social media in general.
So basically, we were creating a generation of individuals who, are, more depressed, more anxious, more, lots of different things. So we can see firsthand the impacts of what this is doing to youth. You know what I mean? So
and I think it's a multiple different reasons as to why the depression and anxiety and all these things have increased.
Of course.
But either way, there's definitely a connection, I believe. So.
Oh, hugely. I mean, the main factor that changed since they've been monitoring this was Instagram. And that was the big kind of like, but then obviously after that, there's more social media platforms. There's Twitter, there's like whatever, tons of stuff. Right. But it does beg to question, like, does there need to be more restrictions in place for youth? Like, is there, if we can see the cause and effect of what's going on, like, I wonder what needs to be done potentially. I don't know. I don't have the answers, but I just know, not as a parent. I was gonna say as a parent. I'm not a parent,
Dana,
guys.
do you have kids I don't know about?
I do. I could just see like the challenge of being a modern day parent now as well.
I know.
Would be an absolute minefield.
I know.
Because how you can't really control any of this stuff.
You really can't.
As soon as you give kids access to a smartphone, they can do whatever the hell they want.
That's what's another problem is, like, I think this is my theory as to why social media has also caused so much anxiety and depression, all these things. I think it's because it has become a substitute when it's not a substitute for real interaction.
For really meeting people.
Exactly.
And
whereas,
chatting.
So kids, I'm sure, I don't have the numbers, but I'm sure social anxiety is through the fucking roof.
Yeah.
Because they don't know how to interact in real life.
Yeah.
Because if you're in a room, kids are just going to be on their phones.
Well, if you remember that documentary with I think it was like
Social Dilemma,
something like this. I don't know if it's Social Dilemma or something. They put like a bunch of kids in a room
Modern
together.
Romance.
Was it Montreal Mass?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, sorry, I'm mixing them up. But they put a bunch of like kids in a room together. Well, like kids, like, you know, younger teenagers, and then a bunch of like adults, like older adults.
Yeah.
Just to see what happened, right? And got them to be like, hey, like go and mingle or whatever.
Yeah.
And like the adults would all be like chatting, and the room was quite loud and everything else. And then the like, you know, the younger teens or like kind of later teens were just all sat there on their phones.
Yeah.
Like nobody was really talking.
Exactly.
It's a very weird.
The thing is, I get like if you're a teenager, it is a little awkward, and you know, you might not talk as much as adults. Yeah, for sure. But now you've given them a reason, another extra reason to not talk, which is their phones, right? So it's like you could put them in a situation where they have to be uncomfortable and speak or do something. But instead, now we're giving them this like tool that isn't really going to help you know, them develop any social skills. Yeah. Instead, we're just kind of like making it worse, right? Because the longer you go without it, the more you're going to be anxious. And there is no substitute for actual human interaction. Yeah. So then you're going to start developing more issues. And then, of course, then you add, you know, the perfect Instagram lifestyle on top of that, the comparisons. Yeah. I mean, it's just a disaster.
Yeah. You know, if I was in that room, I'd be quite shy. I don't know. I don't know if I'd be talking to anyone, guys.
Daniel, you'd be hilarious. You should be a comedian.
So funny. Rose was saying, like, you know, she feels like she gets like a, you know, you're talking so much when you're with me, you get a sore throat. God damn.
Yeah, I really do. Is there another story, Daniel?
Well, there's one more story, guys, that we're going to leave you with.
Okay. Because Daniel's going to kill me now. We've spent way too much time together for the last few days. What be this story?
Did you hear about this one?
No.
I don't know exactly how they're going to do this, but I guess Facebook this is like, I don't think it's been made official yet. Like, I don't know if it's like they're actually planning to do this. Okay. But it sounds like what they're doing is they're making a plan to lower the political volume on news feeds.
How are they going to do that?
Well. It's basically, I guess the plan is to, Facebook's plans to announce it will de-emphasize political posts and current events content in the news feed based on negative user feedback. So I guess if someone is like not liking a post, or, you know, users, there's a lot of like shit going on this post, they're going to de-emphasize it. Okay. So I think what they're trying to do is, I think, especially because Facebook has become under a lot of fire these days. Oh my God, yeah. Because it's been blamed for like really polarizing political stance, especially in the US. Yeah. So they talked about the elections, and the elections have never been more divided. There's never been more, you know, really the kind of hate and stuff towards the other parties as well. It's become such, you know, no middle ground anymore. Yeah. And I mean, that's saying a lot already, because the US was already bad about that. Exactly. But they say that like a big part of this, and we've talked about this as well, is like Facebook, for example. Mm-hmm. Well, not just Facebook, but like Facebook, where you have these algorithms that feed you content based on what you've watched and what you've liked and what you've engaged with. Yeah. And if you start engaging in content of certain political stances, even if it's on the moderate side, you start getting more and more and more, and it turns into a vicious cycle. And then you get sponsored posts that come out from news organizations that kind of feed into your already like held belief, but then potentially in a more extreme way. So anyways, I guess now they're cracking down on it, kind of. Let's see. It says, moving forward, Facebook will expand some of its current newsfeed tests that put less emphasis on certain engagement signals, like the probability that a user will share or comment on a post in its ranking algorithm. But that's just engagement. So if there's less engagement, I don't think that's necessarily gonna. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna impact things. I mean, at least they're trying, I guess. Yeah, it's hard. These algorithms are so complicated. I know. It's like the YouTube algorithms, all this stuff. I think even the developers don't even know what's going on in there anymore. Oh, they have no idea what's going on. Like, because these algorithms are so complex and so have multifacets, and also, guys, like everything is so linked up on all of the like different platforms. Oh my God, it's scary, right? Like, it is actually scary, because like we talk about like political polarization. It's not just Facebook. Like if you start watching, let's say I start watching some conservative posts for whatever reason. Yeah. You know, maybe I'm watching Candace Owens video for pure entertainment. And then, so I watch that on Facebook. Then I go into my Instagram, and guess what? All the ads are for fucking conservative shit. Right. Then I go into my email, and all the ads on the side are for conservative shit. Yeah. Then I go onto Tinder. Swiping through some profiles, get an ad for fucking conservative shit. You can't get away from it. Yeah. I've noticed.
Shut up.
Everywhere now. Honestly, guys, the ads are getting they are getting insane.
It's bad. It is. Yeah. It is very bad. Yeah. I mean, and I think it may have started from a potentially less. Not a malicious place potentially. Yeah. It's just, it started from, it's target marketing.
Exactly.
But then because of so much data and now we've created almost like an artificial intelligence. Remember like,
and it's like learning.
Is this Stephen Hawking that was like artificial intelligence is going to take over the world?
Yeah.
It's going to become like a Frankenstein situation.
I feel like
we're basically creating Frankenstein right now.
And that's the algorithm.
Yeah.
And then they don't know fully. The interesting thing is too, is like, people don't understand, like scientists and whatever else, whoever's behind these computer programmers, they also don't know the long-term
created.
Exactly, and they don't know the long-term impacts on
it is a Frankenstein.
It is, and they don't know the long-term impacts on individuals' actual social behaviors.
Exactly,
right? Because we're animals. We're like influenced by our surroundings and how they impact our growth, our development, our everything, and they don't know. Like we don't. I feel like they don't even know what's going on anymore.
That's literally Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Because isn't that what happened? Dr. Frankenstein created Frankenstein.
I don't know where you're going with this Frankenstein shit, Rose. God damn.
Dr. Frankenstein. His name was Frankenstein, I think. The guy that created Frankenstein.
Okay.
So he created this monster. But he didn't know how powerful this monster would be. Okay? And then this monster became like a huge monster and like killed him. And I think he killed him. Actually, I don't know. And then he went and like did a bunch of shit. So he created this monster that he couldn't control. That's what we're doing with artificial intelligence.
That is kind of like the Frankenstein story. I mean, I've loosely watched Frankenstein.
I mean, I just know that part, I think. Yeah. Or I'm just making this up. Sorry, guys.
Could be. But yeah, anyway, I mean, at least they're trying to start doing things. How effective this is going to be.
Who knows?
Yeah. I guess this is part of a gradual effort to make its users experience less political and contentious.
Oh my gosh.
Which is long overdue.
After you did all the fucking damage.
I know. Like, honestly, this is part of the reason, like, I was joking with Rose on this trip, but like on this recent trip, but the more and more I talk about this, the more and more I'm just like, you know what? I want to get off social media.
Right after you posted something on Instagram.
Yeah. But like,
I know it's tempting, but it's also like, oh my God.
Yeah. Because I'm also like connecting with people and stuff. It's like all of my, especially international contacts.
I mean, do you actually exist if you don't have social media?
Well, you do. You are a person, Rose, without social media.
I know.
I'd actually think I'd kind of find it refreshing if I meet like a boy.
You know what, Daniel? Why don't you do it?
I might.
I mean, what's holding you back?
Well, the main thing holding me back, which is maybe a stupid way to think of it, is like I just think all of my like especially my international friends.
I mean, you could keep your Facebook.
True.
Just like don't use it.
But a lot of people now use more of Instagram.
Who do you talk to on Instagram?
A lot of different people.
Well, why don't you just say hi?
You should see my DMs, Rose.
This is why. This is the true reason.
I'm kidding.
He be getting the DMs.
I'm kidding. No one is sliding into my DMs. Well, a few people are, but
you're allowed to text. I mean, if they're your good friends, Daniel, you're allowed to text them.
This is true.
And you can keep your Instagram account. You can just delete the app on the phone, so you don't go on it.
Yeah.
And then if you want to contact somebody,
you log in on the computer. That's not a bad idea. I might do that. We'll see, guys. We'll see how I'm feeling about it all. I don't know. It makes me feel anxious about getting rid of it.
Right? Isn't it weird? It's like one of those, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Part of the reason also why I was saying to Rose why I wanted to do this.
Well, I was thinking about quitting everything. What do you think?
Well, I don't think that's an option for you. But like part of the reason I thought about it as well is like there's weeks where I'm very much not on Instagram and I actually really enjoy it
because you're actually living life.
Exactly. I'm doing things. I'm like whatever. And then the weeks that I'm like feel like I'm a lot on social media, I actually just don't feel as good. Like I do feel more like anxious.
I think that's because when you're not doing much, you're probably on social media more.
Yeah.
But when you're busy and you're doing things, you're not going to be on social media as much. Yeah.
But like
so the real test will be when you don't really have much going on.
What do you do?
And you don't have social media, how are you going to feel?
Exactly.
That's the real test.
But you would hopefully
I mean, there's only so much Schitt's Creek one can watch, Daniel. I think true. I might need to start banning you from watching Schitt's Creek.
Excuse me,
I think you've watched it one too many times,
That'd
Daniel.
Feel good sensation.
This be an intervention.
Guys,
if you start quoting Maura one more time.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
She's my favorite. And on that happy note.
All right. Well, Daniel's going to kill me. So
yeah, no, I'm not going to kill Rose, but I am.
By the way, Daniel, this is evidence, okay? So if you kill me,
there we go.
We do have video evidence.
If this video gets posted. Just kidding. We hope you guys had an amazing weekend. Hope you guys have a really, really great week. As you can see, there is dedication here from the SaVeg podcast team. What else, Rose? There's lots.
Make sure you follow us on all our socials.
Yes, please.
That we just talk shit about.
Yeah, follow us on all the socials.
Instagram at The SaVeg Podcast.
Yep.
Of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It is youtube.com/The SaVeg Podcast. And like I mentioned earlier, of course, join us on Patreon, which is patreon.com/The SaVeg Podcast.
Yep.
It starts as little as $3 a month.
$3, guys.
And you get all kinds of goodness. Okay?
Yeah, all kinds.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much for listening. And we'll see you and talk to you next week.
Talk to you next week, guys. Bye.